Have you ever wondered about nest building behavior in pregnant rabbits? Or maybe you wondered about what is a good nest when people talk about a rabbit making a good nest. What does a good nest look like? And what does a good nest look like over time? So before the rabbit is gonna kindle, weeks before the rabbit's gonna kindle, you're gonna see footage in this video of a pregnant doe building her nest. And then you're gonna see her a couple days before what she's doing to her nest. You'll see 5 minutes before she kindles, before she has her 7 baby bunnies. You will see what she's doing to prepare her nest. And then you'll see right after she had her 7 baby bunnies, what is she doing that is going to help that nest and make those baby bunnies survive and thrive. We'll show you the actual nest a couple days later with the baby bunnies in it. And we'll also show you a little bit after that, as the baby bunnies are a little bit older, healthy baby bunnies. So definitely watch this video if you're interested in learning about what is healthy pregnant rabbit nesting behavior. In this video, we have Beatrix. Beatrix is an American angora, and she is pregnant. This first footage is actually of her. And she has a lot of hay. She has a tray. She has wire around. There's a water bottle and there's a little feed dish. You can see it to the left at the bottom of the screen. There's all sorts of different types of hay. And every area where you are in the world might not have the same amount of hay, the same type of hay. You may be working with a different species. That's very normal. This is hay that's local to where we are. This particular type of hay has large fibrous stalks. That makes it a little bit more difficult for Beatrix to build her nest. But Beatrix is building her nest with this, and this is appropriate rabbit nest building material. So right around March 3rd of 2021 is when this footage was filmed. Beatrix has a couple weeks to go in her pregnancy. She isn't going to even have her kits anytime soon. But she is preparing that nest. In her mouth, you can tell she has lots of stalks of hay. This is very normal. Sometimes this is actually referred to as a hay mustache, as you can see right here, because it kind of pops out the side of their mouth. She picks up stalk by stalk by stalk, piece by piece by piece. And each time that head moves up, she's pulling a piece up that she's put in her mouth and trying to separate it from the rest. That's normal behavior in a rabbit. Well, how do we know what's normal behavior or what is a good nest? How do we know this in the first place? Well, the answer is pretty simple. We want to go to a trusted resource, something that actually is based on not just someone's opinion, someone's idea, but actually based on science, based on evidence, based on research. We go to the textbook of rabbit medicine. We use the 3rd edition. It is by Molly Varga Smith, and that's something that we actually use a lot at our rabbitry. It's been a very helpful resource. In that, it describes in Rabbit Basic Science Chapter 1, it explains what natural rabbit nesting behavior is. So some things it mentions are, listen, this doe is going to want to build some sort of nest, and so it needs access to nesting material. A doe also might have some changes in behavior. Some does actually become more aggressive when they're pregnant. This really doesn't affect Beatrix. She's just not that sort of rabbit, but she's also used to her humans. She's in a house in this video, and so she's around the humans a lot. Beatrix is going really serious with this. She's actually building a tunnel of hay. We know that the quality of a nest that a doe builds matters. And this is something, again, that if you reference the textbook, they discuss that it actually matters to how do the young do. If you live in a very cold climate and your rabbits are outside, You may notice that this is of serious importance. Is it a good nest? Well, let's take a look, keep watching, and let's see what Beatrix is doing. This is a look inside of her tunnel. I would say it's not exactly structurally sound. But then again, I'm not a rabbit. We know that the average size of a litter is going to be about 5 to 8 rabbits. We know that it's going to take somewhere around 32 days for that rabbit to give birth and actually kindle the baby bunnies. During that time, you definitely want to make sure that your rabbit has access to a clean environment, lots of nesting material, water, food, and of course just is in good condition. Beatrix is under that clump of hay, and she's kind of building her nest a bit all over. You'll see in this video that the entire nest actually moves. And it moves because she starts building it in that upper left-hand corner. So we move that big black litter box out of the way, move it to the side, and let her really have that corner that she wants her nest in. Beatrix is used to humans, and she really doesn't mind being disturbed at this point in the pregnancy. Later on, you'll see her behavior changes right after she kindles her baby bunnies. She becomes a bit more aware. This is the video of Beatrix. It is going to be 5 minutes before she actually starts having babies. This is in the early morning time. Rabbits pull commonly from their front chest. That's called a dewlap. They can pull from their tummy area. And often what that does is it exposes their nipples, so that way the baby bunnies can actually get access and feed. In a breed like angoras, that's important. They also pull sometimes by the hip, back, leg area. There are rabbits that really get overly excited about pulling wool. Beatrix wasn't one of them. In that upper left-hand corner, you can see there is wool in there. There are 7 baby bunnies. This is just after Beatrix kindled all 7. She's done. She is now still pulling wool. So you notice she worked a lot with the hay first. She then waited until she was about to kindle to pull wool. After she kindled, what she's doing is she's pulling even more wool. Not all rabbits do this. So sometimes, usually like a rabbit that is new to pregnancy, they might not pull enough fur. We call it wool because these are angora rabbits. So this is the part where Beatrix, she's just got done kindling. She really doesn't want to be bothered too much. But that upper left-hand corner, this is March in Upper Michigan. It is still cold. That slate tile floor, that part of the house, the entryway is right on the ground. So this is cold. That is why Beatrix is putting a lot of hay in there. Even though this part of the house, this does have access to the heating and the cooling, the floor itself and that wall, that is a brick wall, that is cold. Now you can see Beatrix, she's kind of hopping around a lot. She's looking, she's sapping. The truth is, this is the point when, she really doesn't want me to get too close. She really just wants to cover up her baby bunnies because it is cold. A good mom rabbit will pay attention to the temperature. You will actually notice good mom rabbits will cover up. They'll pull more wool if it's cold, or they'll move the wool off of the baby bunnies if it's warm, and they'll kind of spread it out to the side. Now, what's very normal is during the duration of those baby bunnies being in the nest, that wool is going to start to get matted up, or that fur, it's going to start to get soiled. It'll have droppings. Sometimes the actual moms, they might soil the nest themselves with urine. This is something to watch out for. This is something that I really don't have to worry about with Beatrix. But it's very normal for that doe to leave some droppings in front of the nest and by the nest. So Beatrix, she's actually going to rest after this, after she's satisfied with her nest. And yes, sometimes a rabbit will hop right on their baby bunnies. This is something to pay attention to. Baby bunnies can get injured from this. This is why you just want to check the nest box about once a day. See if those baby bunnies are doing well. We're going to show you what this nest looks like and what the baby bunnies actually look like here. This is the completed nest. There's a lot of wool. There's 7 baby angora bunnies in here. Beatrix carries the Harlequin gene, and she is also Vienna marked. And so you see a little bit of tortin there from the dad as well. These are pretty healthy baby bunnies. The nest is a good nest, and I know that because there's a deep layer of hay, there's a deep layer of wool, there's wool all over the sides, and then these babies were covered in wool. Now, if this is a rabbit that's not familiar to you, I recommend don't do too much with the nest, because sometimes that can stress a mother rabbit out and they can just decide that they don't want to go back to that nest. It's not good. That doesn't happen often, but it can happen, and it has happened. So I'm looking at these babies. I'm just making sure everyone's alive, making sure everyone's healthy. This is a couple days of nest building, serious nest building went into this. Beatrix has done a good job with full tummies. That means she did a good job pulling wool on her stomach. I'm right in with Beatrix, and you can see she just leaves that nest alone while I'm there.